Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Out of Bounds here on SportsTownChicago.com. I am Robert Tatka, and joining me at this time is a just hero of mine, someone that I really idolize and look up to, and that is one of the stars of The Biggest Loser on NBC, Bob Harper. Bob, welcome to Out of Bounds here on SportsTownChicago.com. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Bob, you've written 3 books that have topped the New York Times bestseller list: Skinny Meals, Jump Start to Skinny, and Skinny Rules. If there is one book that you are most proud of, which one would it be?
God, I guess it would have to be The Skinny Rules. It was my first #1 New York Times bestseller. It was on the list for 12 weeks. People really responded to it. I love the book because it's simple, non-negotiable rules that people can live by.
Bob, how did you come up with the 20 rules for the Jump Start to Skinny plan?
It was just like working with my contestants for as long as I have. I've been on the show now for 16 seasons, and what I found is people need a list of things to do, and when they have a list of things to do, then they're going to be able to follow it.
All right, Bob, with all the rules, which one would you consider to be the most important?
God, I think the #1 rule of drink plenty of water, it's like you hear that all the time, but you don't realize how important it is. It's like a lot of times when people feel like they're hungry, chances are they're dehydrated. You know, it's like I think that getting proper hydration in your body is really going to help to promote weight loss.
Bob, you started working with Michelle Obama with the Let's Move campaign. Can you tell us a little bit about it? How were you contacted? Who contacted you? And what's it like to be working with Mrs. Obama with such a big campaign?
I mean, I got to tell you, I've been so excited working with the First Lady with the Let's Move initiative. You know, when I got that phone call saying that she wanted me to be a part of it, it was just like, I mean, it was one of the highlights of my life. And the fact that she's so driven, she's so motivated, she wants to help with childhood obesity in every way that she can. And I mean, she's got the biggest platform in the world to get people to take notice. So it's like being a part of that has just been amazing.
You're listening to Out of Bounds here on SportsTownChicago.com with me, Robert Tatka. I'm joined with Bob Harper from The Biggest Loser on NBC. Bob, how motivated were these kids to see you go out, have all this fun, exercise? Just what did it mean to you?
Oh my God! I mean, it was great. It was just like getting in an auditorium with like thousands of kids and just getting them to move around, and the excitement, the energy was just palpable.
Okay, Bob, now on to The Biggest Loser. We're into the 16th season of it, and this season is entitled Glory Days. You have a lot of former NFL players. You have an Olympic gold medalist. And, Bob, one thing that's different this year is Comeback Canyon. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Usually in the past, whenever a contestant was voted off, we would see just how they transformed before the credits rolled. Now they get the chance to go to Comeback Canyon, and they work with you one-on-one. Could you tell us a little bit of how this came about?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Comeback Canyon this season. It's definitely an interesting and cool creative. The fact that you get to that point where you think you're being kicked off the show, and in fact you're coming to work with me one-on-one. It's a lot of fun. It's really exciting. It's something new and different. I love it. I love to be able to turn my brain of fitness and nutrition all into one element of the show, and it's called Comeback Canyon. I think that people really love it.
As we mentioned before, Bob, it's called Glory Days because you have a lot of former athletes on there, and usually athletes, they're a little bit headstrong with how they like to do their workouts. But can you tell us at all which ones are a little bit more frustrating to work with and which ones are a little bit more enjoyable?
Well, that's a really good question. However, me being a part of Comeback Canyon, you can't really know who I'm working with because then you'll know who got eliminated. So it's like...
Well, I'm trying to get in there, get a little tips beforehand just to see, hey, kind of like a spoiler alert for me, get kind of excited.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was just like, well, I could tell you because there are definitely some people that are going to be coming to my place that are so exciting. I definitely have one that stands out. However, I can't tell you who that person is. But I will say this. See, in the very first episode, I mean, I got to work with Xena, and I mean, it's like I followed her and her tennis professions when I was, a kid, because I've always watched tennis and I've loved tennis. So the fact that I got to work with Zena Garrison was just a really, really cool thing.
Now, Bob, you just mentioned you're a big tennis fan and you're a big fan of Zena Garrison. Are there any other sports that you enjoy watching, especially with some of the athletes that you have on this season, on season 16 of The Biggest Loser?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I've always been a tennis fan. Here's the thing. It's like what I found with all these people, be volleyball players or college athletes. It's like I always have been so drawn to any athlete and their sport, because when I work with an athlete, I see just how driven they are. I see how motivated they are, and it's the fact that I get to work with a bunch of ex-athletes this season has been really, really exciting.
See, I was just going to ask that, Bob. Working with athletes is totally different than working with the general population. Athletes, a lot of times, you just know that throughout their entire lives, they've been more dedicated and more wanting to be the best that they can be, whereas the general population, sometimes it's a struggle to get them motivated. Would you consider working with athletes to be a lot easier than it is working with a member of the general population?
I wouldn't say it was easier. I mean, I think that in some ways it's a little bit more challenging because they have their own ideas. But I think that a really good athlete is someone that will listen to their coach. And I think that when people come to me and work with me at Comeback Canyon, they have to know that I'm the one that's in complete control. I'm the coach that's going to tell them exactly what they need to be doing at any given moment. I think that when you work with an athlete that is so willing to do whatever their coach says, that's when you're going to see the ones that are the most successful.
So you would say it's a little bit more psychological than anything else, right?
Absolutely. I mean, when you're dealing with athletes, it's like they're used to pushing their bodies. It's like they're used to going with the physical as far as they can, but like it's up to me to get them to go for much more of the emotional.
Now, Bob, before we go, do you have any form of social media that any of the fans can be in contact with you, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, My Trainer Bob, or Instagram, or Twitter, the same handle.
Bob Harper, thank you again for being a guest with me here on Out of Bounds here on SportsTownChicago.com. It was a pleasure to be able to interview you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bob Harper from the NBC hit The Biggest Loser. You're listening to Out of Bounds here on SportsTownChicago.com with me, Rob Tatka.